All right. Yeah, it looks like you had attempted three problems, and so I'm going to talk you through those three. So the first thing here that we want to know is the center. And so if I'm starting at 0, 0, and I'm thinking about where the center of the circle is at, coming up here, and I'm thinking that, this location is going to represent my center, which would be at 1, 2, 3, 2. I'm going to scroll down here, and there it is. You would answer down here. You answered with the location of the center on that first problem. You said it was 3, 2. They want the equation, okay? So if you take a look, you had identified the center correctly, and then notice here is the equation. This is ultimately what we want to end up with. So you had done this part correctly, and then notice how that fits in here. That 3 looks opposite, and then here's the 2. It's got an opposite sign on it, so we flip the signs. Here's the part that we didn't get, and that was the radius, okay? So once you've got the center of the circle here, we want to go 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right. You could also, if you wanted to count up 1, 2, 3, 4 up. You could also go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But the key is that we could come up with a center that's at 3, 2 from that diagram. And then the other part is that the radius was 4. All right, so now when I come down here to do my equation, here's my radius of 4. And then notice what happens right here. This is r squared. So I'm thinking 4 times 4, and that's where they get this 16 from. All right, so that was the first problem that you had attempted. Okay, and then let me scroll up here quick, and let's go to the second problem. And let's clear that stuff out. All right, so first thing we want to do is figure out the center. They want the equation, okay? So looks like here's my center. That's at 6, -2. So what I might do is make a note. All right, the center is at 6, -2. Okay, got that. And then what I want to do is figure out what is the radius. 1, 2, 3, 4. R is equal to 4. Now, you could have counted to the right. You could have counted vertically, horizontally, or down. Those are the four options because you're counting in a straight line distance. If you try to count on an angle like this, it makes it a little bit easier to come up with that radius value. So now I've got the center and I've got the radius. So let's go and check out and see how you did. All right, so down here, they're telling you the center and the radius. This is the equation that we ultimately want to come up with. And then let's see what you had answered. You had all of that correct. You had all of this correct. So what you were missing, the only thing you were missing here was what to do with the radius. So that's the value down here. You would end up with a 4 times 4. And so that gives you this value of 16. Remember, that's equal to the radius squared. So you had done an awesome job with this. It was just a matter of getting it set up with that equal sign in there. All right, so nicely done on that. Just finish it off. And let's take a look at the third problem. Let me switch over here. There we go. All right, let's take a look at this one. So figure out your center. Looks like -7, 0. -7, 0. Sorry about that. That's supposed to be a parenthesis, but it kind of went haywire on me. And then here's your radius of 2. Okay. So now let's take a look. We'll come right on down here and let's just go to what you had answered. So this was good. This will always be a plus sign in here. That's always going to be a plus sign. And then this was okay. And then here's the issue we ran in with that. If you take a look, our radius was 2. All right, so when I get ready to write this equation, when I come down here to set it equal to the radius, that time you had the equation, but now what is 2 times 2? 2 times 2 in this case is 4. Remember, it's the radius squared. All right, so you were on the right track. So think about your first question. You just identified the center only. On the second one, you started to get the format of the equation set up correctly. We just needed the equal sign. And so then as you're taking a look at these, just make sure that you're identifying this radius value, and then whatever that is, multiply it by itself, and that's what's going to then give you what that's equal to. So I hope that helps. I think there's 6 questions on that assignment, um, and you can use this as your guideline for those. The remaining 2 questions on that assignment, they'll either be right or wrong. So as long as you give it an attempt, uh, you'll be okay in terms of the credit. So I hope that clears some things up for you. Send me another email back if you need to, but hopefully this kind of gets you on the right path. Thanks.